Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the practice of English language teaching, chapter 21, Speaking, by Jeremy Horner. Speaking is more than just producing words. It involves interaction, decision making, and real-time language process. According to Jeremy Harmer, speaking is not simply the act of stringing words together to create grammatically correct sentences. It is a productive skill that involves active participation, cognitive effort, and real-time language processing. Unlike writing, which allows for planning and editing, speaking demands immediacy. Learners must produce language spontaneously, often without time to think deeply about grammar and vocabulary. Additionally, speaking is interactive in nature. This means it often requires adapting what we say in response to the people we're talking to, their facial expressions, intonations, and even the shared context. It includes not only conveying ideas but also negotiating meaning, responding to others, and using social conventions. Therefore, when we teach speaking, we're not only focusing on linguistic competence but also on the ability to perform in communicative situations, something that goes far beyond memorizing dialogues or reading aloud. Spoken English possesses several unique features that differentiate it significantly from the written form. Humber emphasizes that learners must be aware of these differences in order to become competent speakers. Firstly, spoken English is often redundant, which means speakers repeat or rephrase ideas for clarity or emphasis. Secondly, ellipsis is common. Parts of sentences are often omitted when the meaning is still clear from context, such as saying coming instead of are you coming. In addition, spoken language includes performance effects like hesitations, pauses, fillers, for example, you know, false starts, and self-corrections. These are not necessarily these are not necessarily signs of poor language skills. In fact, they are natural components of spoken discourse. Spoken English is also highly contextual and interactive. This means meaning often relies heavily on tone, intonation, facial expressions, and immediate context. For instance, saying really can express surprise, disbelief, or interest depending on how it's spoken. These features make speaking a challenging skill to master, and teaching it requires an understanding of how natural spoken communication actually works in real life. Harmer makes a clear distinction between fluency and accuracy, both of which are critical for speaking proficiency. Fluency is about speaking easily, quickly, and with few pauses, even if some mistakes are about correctness in grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. In a speaking lesson, some activities should be designed to prioritize um, fluency. These include free discussions, problem-solving tasks, or storytelling situations where learners are encouraged to focus on getting their message across rather than worrying about making mistakes. Other activities might emphasize accuracy, such as controlled dialogues, repetition drill, or grammar-based speaking tasks. This helps students internalize correct forms and develop confidence in producing accurate language. Palmer stresses that teachers must strike a balance between these two objectives. Speaking is inherently interactive. It involves turn-taking, responding, clarifying, and negotiating meaning with others. Harmer highlights that meaningful interaction is crucial for developing speaking skills and that to promote interaction, teachers can implement a variety of communicative techniques. Paywork and Clickwork give all students a chance to speak and reduce the anxiety associated with speaking in front of the whole class. Information gap activities, where each student has different pieces of information and must communicate it to complete a task, mimic real communication. Role plays and simulations allow learners to experiment with different registers, scenarios, and language forms in a safe environment. Decision-making tasks and discussions build fluency while also encouraging critical thinking and negotiating skills. Harmer points out that interaction is more than just talking at someone. It involves actively listening, adjusting language, and using verbal and nonverbal cues. A classroom that values authentic interaction helps learners become not only speakers but effective communicators. Harmer outlines various practical techniques that can be integrated into speaking lessons, each serving different pedagogical purposes. Drilling helps learners improve pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Tough mechanical, it gives students confidence to produce sounds correctly. Prepared talks, such as short speeches and presentations, allow learners to organize their thoughts in advance and practice informal or semi-formal speaking. Questionnaire, and surveys are interactive tools that generate real communication, especially when learners gather and report information from others. Dialogues, either memorized or adapted, help practice turn-taking, functional language, and realistic interaction. Communication games combine language learning with problem solving and fun. They require students to respond quickly and naturally, often under pressure or with limited language, simulating real world conditions. The use of these techniques should be thoughtfully planned according to the learner's needs, goals, and proficiency levels. Combining structured, accuracy-focused activities with open-ended, fluency-focused tasks results in more comprehensive speaking development. Effective feedback on speaking is not just about correcting errors, it's about helping learners reflect, improve, and gain confidence. Harmer explains that the nature of feedback should depend on the activity type and its objective. In fluency-based activities, correction should be minimal or delayed so as not to disrupt the flow of communication. The teacher might take notes and provide comments afterward. In accuracy-focused activities, more immediate correction may be helpful, especially when focusing on specific language forms. Feedback strategies include reformulation, where the teacher restates the student's sentence correctly and naturally, peer feedback, self-reflection, gentle correction techniques. Homer emphasizes that the tone and purpose of feedback matter greatly. It should be encouraging, not demotivating, constructive, not judgmental. The goal is to support learners' ongoing development without managing their willingness to speak. Alright, I think it's enough for me at this point. Thank you for your attention and see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.